Have you ever stared at a Korean sentence and wondered, why are there so many tiny words glued to the nouns? If you've ever felt confused by particles, you're not alone. Today, we're tackling the most fundamental particle in the entire Korean language, un and neun. Sound relatable? By the end of this lesson, you'll know exactly when and how to use un, neun, and you'll be building real Korean sentences with confidence. So, what exactly does un, neun mean? In Korean, un and neun are called the topic particle. They attach to a noun to mark it as the topic, the thing you're talking about in the sentence. Think of it like a spotlight on a stage. When you attach un or neun to a noun, you're pointing that spotlight directly at it, saying, this is what we're discussing right now. In English, there's no direct equivalent, but you can think of it as for, or simply the main subject being introduced. Let's look at two real Korean examples. Now, the most important question. When do you use un versus neun? The answer is simple. It all depends on how the noun ends. If the noun ends in a consonant, what Koreans call a pachim, a final consonant sound, you attach un. For example, check, which means book, ends in the consonant giek, so we say 책은. On the other hand, if the noun ends in a vowel, no final consonant, you attach 는. For example, na, meaning I, ends in the vowel a, so we say 나는. And coffee, ends with the vowel e, so it becomes 커피는. Here's a quick memory tip. Nouns with a consonant ending need the extra un to ease pronunciation. Nouns already ending smoothly on a vowel just take none. Once you internalize this pattern, choosing the right form becomes automatic. Let's lock in the rule with a clear reference table. This will be your cheat sheet for un and neun. When a noun ends in a consonant, what we call pachim, we use un. Look, 학교 ends in a vowel, so we actually use neun. And 밥 ends in the consonant b, so we use 밥은. Pay close attention to that last sound of the noun. When a noun ends in a vowel, we attach neun. 저, meaning I in formal speech, ends in the vowel 어, so 저는. And 오빠, older brother, ends in the vowel 아, so 오빠는. Now let's look at real natural Korean sentences using un and neun. Reading these out loud will help the pattern click. 저는 학생이에요. I am a student. 저 ends in the vowel 어, so we use neun. And 이름은 지민이에요. My name is Jimin. 이름 ends in the consonant 무, so we use un. 오늘은 월요일이에요. Today is Monday. 오늘 ends in 리을, a consonant, so we say 오늘은. And 한국어는 재미있어요. Korean is interesting. 한국어 ends in the vowel 어, so it's 한국어는. And one more. 선생님은 친절해요. The teacher is kind. 선생님 ends in 무, a consonant, so we use un. Notice how naturally un and neun slot into every sentence type. Here's a bonus nuance that will set you apart from other beginners. Un and neun can also imply contrast. This is a feature of the Korean language that makes these particles incredibly expressive. When you say, 저는 커피를 마셔요, you're simply stating, I drink coffee. 저는 is marking 저 I as the topic of this sentence. But when you follow it with 친구는 차를 마셔요, my friend drinks tea, that second 는 subtly implies a contrast. It's as if you're saying, I drink coffee, but my friend drinks tea. The particle creates that implied but without you ever saying the word. All right, it's quiz time. Pause the video right now, read each sentence, and decide, should it be 은 or 는? Take as long as you need. I'll reveal the answers one by one. Question 1. 사과는 맛있어요. 사과 means apple. Look at the last syllable, 과. It ends in the vowel ah, no final consonant. So the answer is 는. 사과는 맛있어요. Question 2. 학생은 열심히 공부해요. 학생 means student. The last syllable 생 ends in 응. That's a consonant, so we use 은. 학생은 열심히 공부해요. Question 3. 물은 차가워요. 물 means water. It ends in 릴, a consonant, so the answer is 은. 물은 차가워요. And question 4. 가수는 노래를 해요. 가수 means singer. The syllable 수 ends in the vowel 우, no 받침. So we use 는. 가수는 노래를 해요. How many did you get right? Leave your score in the comments. Fantastic work getting through this lesson. Let's recap what you've learned today in just 30 seconds. Number 1. 은 and 는 are the Korean topic particle. They mark the noun you're talking about. Number 2. Use 은 after a noun that ends in a consonant, one with a 받침. Number 3. Use 는 after a noun that ends in a vowel, no 받침. And as a bonus, remember that 은, 는 can also signal contrast between two different topics. Now it's your turn. Write a sentence using 은 or 는 in the comments section below about yourself, your hobby, your favorite food, anything you like. I personally read every comment, and I'd love to see what you come up with. If this lesson helped you, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more Korean learners around the world. Subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a new lesson. Next time, we're tackling 이 and 가, the subject particle. And trust me, once you understand how it differs from 은 and 는, everything clicks. See you in the next video. 잘했어요. Well done.